Our first lecture in Art 1280 Photoshop software is about color management. Color management is the process of ensuring that the colors that you see on screen are similar or identical to those that you would see when you output. And I don't want to say print because you don't have to always print the images that you create in Photoshop, but you always have to output them. You have to share them to someone in some way. And so the color management will talk a little bit about that. Our goals for this first lecture, let me put this in full screen for you, are to learn how to launch Photoshop. We will identify different color modes that you can use when you're in Photoshop and talk about their relationship to the channels panel, which is something that's covered in your reading for Chapter 1. We will define what color management is, and we will identify some common color management techniques. I'd like to preface this by saying that color management can be a very complex topic, and so we're going to kind of take baby steps into that. And this first lecture is just talking about the idea that color management exists, it's important, and what are a couple things that you as a novice or a beginner Photoshop user can do to ensure that the color that you create on screen is the same color that outputs, whether you print it on an inkjet printer, you screen print it on a t-shirt, or you send it to someone through the web. In addition, we will talk about the importance of color management for both print and web outputs, and there's differences between the two, so we'll explain what those are. First, let's launch Photoshop. So before we do anything, we need to be able to launch Photoshop. And whether you're using SLCC All Access, one of the Salt Lake Community College computers at the South City campus, or the Visual Art and Design Computer Labs, or your own computer, you're going to launch Photoshop the same way. The only change is if it's going to be on a Mac or a PC. And so all of my videos are Mac-based because this is a Mac-based course. If you have any questions about the PC difference, you can always email me or your instructor. And so the first thing you need to do is learn how to launch programs if you're new to a computer. If you find yourself struggling with finding where Photoshop is on your computer, I would recommend maybe taking an introductory computer course before taking this course. And so you can launch Photoshop on a Mac by using the spotlight. So if I escape here, in the top right hand corner of your screen on a Mac, there's a spotlight, and you can search for anything. So if you name all of your files with your last name, if you type in your last name, it will bring up anything in the computer that has your last name attached to it. If you type Photoshop in here, it will bring you to wherever Photoshop is on the computer. In addition, you can use the Finder or the hard drive that's on your desktop up here in the top right hand corner. And when you double click on the hard drive or you click on the little blue Finder guy, it will allow you to launch your application or your Finder window. Then you can choose applications, and then you can scroll through until you find the program that you'd like to open. We're launching Photoshop, so we'll go into the Photoshop folder and then we'll open Photoshop. Now I want you to open up a file, and I don't care what that file is, but I will provide you with several on the lecture page that come from a series of stock or source images that I've just randomly pulled up on the computer. And so I'm going to go ahead and open up the one that says Edmonton, Canada 193.jpg, and I would like you to do the same. Once you have it open, by choosing File, Open, finding wherever you've downloaded and saved that picture, you can hit open, and then you can move on to the next video.